Okay, want me to run this since Missy's not here? We'll call this meeting to order at 5. If everybody could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, you want to do roll?
Yes, Chairman Gilbert, absent. Vice Chair Hartless.
Here.
Member Bailey.
Here.
Member Com.
Here.
Member Mealy.
Here.
Member Penn, absent.
Do you have any call to the public? No. Librarians report.
All right, so this is the report for December. I'm gonna go back over October, November, and December as a whole later in the meeting, probably next. So we held 15 programs this month. We received an award from the PACE Coalition for most flyers handed out, which we're very proud of. Cassie and Joanna set up a table at Christmas in the Park and had a blast with some of our friends of the library, crafting with kids and talking to families about library resources. We had 75 kids and families join us for Grinch Story Time, 43 kids and their families joining us for Santa Story Time. And then due to some constraints, we're cutting back Fable Makers to twice a month instead of once a week. So every other week, we'll have crafts and a story after school for the kids in that age range. Coming up next, our staff will be attending the Tourism Expo, which we did on the 8th, as well as Pace's off-road experience. And we'll talk about it more next month, but the Tourism Expo was really great. We ended up talking to almost 200 people that day. Just Book Club is reading Wayward by Amelia Hart. Forbidden Shelf Book Club is reading Perks of Being a Wildflower by Stephen Chbosky.
Wallflower.
Huh?
You said wildflower.
Oh, Wallflower, so sorry, thank you. Chips and Salsa will be meeting for the first time today, and that is, again, our Spicy Book Club. And they're meeting at 5:30 tonight, so if we're done by then, you should head over there if you like reading spicy books. Bodgerton was rescheduled for this last week, and we ended up having 4 cancellations last minute that day, so staff filled in those seats, and then we were able to move forward instead of having to postpone it again. Brooklyn will be at AWC this month in the classrooms talking to students about resources available to them as college students. At the end of the month, we'll be hosting our annual Holocaust exhibit from the 27th through the 30th. In addition to the posters that were displayed last year, we'll be showcasing another set of posters focusing on the Nazis' rise to power. And then this month, we are looking forward to 3 field trips. One will be the first graders from Blake, and they're gonna come over and just tour the library. We'll do a story, let them play for a little bit and get them moving. The other 2 will be the 8th graders from La Pera and the high school history students who will be coming during the week of our Holocaust exhibit to view the exhibit. Some statistics, the total circulation is up from last year. It's at 2,131, and last year was 1,800. Libby circulation is up still. It's up about 4,000 from last year, almost 5,000. We added 41 new patrons this last month, and in previous year, we had added 12. Computer usage sessions are up by almost 100. Study room sessions are about the same. Reference transactions are about the same. We have less new materials added, and then Canopy Plays, so that's our streaming service, is about the same as last month. It's at 96. Last month was 90. So, any questions?
When is the Holocaust exhibit?
It's the 27th through the 30th, and it's open whenever we are open. So 10 to 7, Monday to Thursday.
And it's just for anyone to drop in and just kind of check it out. Okay.
Yep, it's a passive walk through. The posters are on display. We're working on getting our Oculus up and running so that way we can have the annex tour again. Last year was really neat. You could put on the Oculus headset and you could walk through the annex where they hid the Frank family. And it told the story of Anne Frank from blurbs from her diary.
Are any of the teachers doing like extra credit like they've done before in the past to like come check it out?
I know the junior high had in the past. I haven't heard that they are this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you find out, let me know so I can like tell whoever I see like, hey, go get extra credit.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other questions?
When you do your Libby statistics, is that because, I guess it's kind of probably a dumb question, but how we can link to like, 11, 12 other libraries?
It's
Are the Libby statistics, like if I borrow a book from Pima,
it reflects on our account.
it does?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Old business. Discussion and possible action on the following items: the fall calendar and library activities.
so I'm just gonna go through the packet I gave you guys, the highlights from October to December. I realized whenever I sat down that I should have included September as well. So if you'd like, I can send you some details later. We did have our 9/11 exhibit in September as well, and that was really, really successful, especially since the high school brought over their kiddos this year as well. So our main highlights in programming are, we hosted 30 in-person programs from October to December, being mindful that there are lots of holidays in those months, so we didn't have quite as many as we normally would. Our book clubs are growing. We've dubbed the adult book club, so we got away from that name because it always came with a couple giggles, and now it's just dubbed just book club. And we've removed age limits on that. So if there's a high school student that wanted to join that group, since we're not reading anything of mature content, they're more than welcome to join as well. Band book club is now called the Forbidden Bookshelf, and they picked out that name themselves, so it's pretty fun. And like I said, we have a new book club starting tonight called Chips and Salsa, and we've had a lot of interest in it, so I'm excited to see how the turnout is for that. True Crime Club, which we tried to implement mainly because there was so much ask for it. We ended up canceling due to lack of interest. We just can't get people in. We tried different times, different dates, and it just wasn't working, so we pulled it. A lot of time and effort goes into researching those cases and pulling all the evidence, and it just wasn't worth it for one or two people to show up. Some changes, our tab fundraising has come to a halt. Once we realized that due to the prices of the snacks not being on the fee schedule, we realized that we could not sell snacks. So we're hoping to get that on the fee schedule before council and get that approved. And then hopefully start selling some library merch as well to help increase our revenue. An outreach update, we're continuing with pop-up story time, and we have throughout those past 3 months. In addition, we attended Trunk or Treat, Christmas in the Park, and our tab set up a table at the Friends Christmas book sale where Santa was there. They wrapped presents for a donation, and it was just a fun, festive book sale. We're trying to do more outreach this year, so if you have any direction or advice, we would welcome it. On the next page, you can see that our revenue is up quite a bit from last year. And that's just in those last 3 months. So if you want a bigger breakdown of that, I can get that to you guys next meeting. And then in that little circle graph there, it just shows who our programs reached during those 3 months. So we really reached, or we had the most programs for adults and for K to 5th graders. And then we're able to see that we're lacking a little bit in the 6th to 12th area, and we can beef up our 0 to 5 story times and programming as well. We just have a really hard time, we've noticed, with the 6th to 12th graders and getting them in the library. So again, if you have any tips or tricks, let us know. We are in talks to possibly start a book club at the high school next year. So I think that would be really cool and a way to get our faces in front of those kiddos. In October program highlights, we had our vampire murder mystery, and there were 14 adults who joined us for a fun and spooky night at a vampire ball. La Pera brought their kindy and first grade students on a field trip to the library as well. that one was really fun. We got to play games, and it worked out. They traveled all over the town, I think.
Yeah, we didn't have power that day.
Yeah.
So we had to have a field trip day to make it a school day. So
I mean, it was pretty cool. We got to read to them about firefighters.
yeah, I mean, like, no offense, but I was kind of surprised since we're on the reservation that they didn't go to the
Crit Museum.
the crit
Um,
library,
oh,
but
yeah.
they didn't even think to go there.
Well, we were glad to have them.
Yes.
A November program highlight, we had 29 people in attendance for a visit with the iconic Smokey Bear, as well as the Parker Fire Department. Families enjoyed story time, free Smokey Bear goodies, and a tour of Parker Fire Department's fire engine. And there were lots of sirens. They love whenever it makes all the noise. And then finally in December, again, we had 75 people in attendance for Grinch story time. And the kids and families loved the chaotic story time that it was. And it was complete with crafts and a photo op, as you can see in the photo.
It doesn't look like he loves it.
Yeah, but his mom
My
did.
favorite photo of all time.
That was my favorite photo.
That's the best.
And then we had 43 people in attendance for our Santa story time, where we did crafts, free books that were donated by our friends, and then there were toys that were given away that were donated by Emerald Cove, as well as a photo op. I think in the future, we noticed that more people were interested in the Grinch story time than the Santa story time, and we think that since we waited till the week of Christmas, everybody had already met Santa, so that's why there was a decrease there. So we're thinking maybe we would do Santa closer to the beginning of the month next year. All right. Any questions?
I had just a couple.
Yeah.
Your chips and salsa, you said that's like a spicy book club?
Yes, and that one is 18 and up.
Okay, so that's
Yes.
that was going to be my question.
Yes.
Then the other question would be on your revenue. So you can't make money off of selling snack. Where are you getting revenue from? And are these numbers like hundreds of dollars?
Nope. Well, yeah, it's just $400, $500, like those numbers. So the 200 is $200, you know,
Right. So revenue from,
from our printing sales.
okay.
Mainly it's printing. And then I didn't include donations in this. This is just from our fees and from printing.
And do you have a plan? Does it just go into a pot somewhere for what you want to do with it?
Really just to keep putting it back into what we're spending.
Okay.
So into our budget.
Okay, any other questions? New business, discussion and action to approve or deny the meeting minutes of September 9th, 2024. Has everybody had a chance to look those over? If anybody wants to make a motion,
I'll move to approve the minutes of September 9th.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Okay. Discussion and action to fill the vacant seat on the advisory board. I was not, do we have a vacant seat?
We do.
Do we have applications?
Nope.
Have we posted that we are looking?
Yes.
Okay. Can we maybe repost that since the holidays and stuff are over?
Maybe people have more free time.
Yeah, and maybe repost that so then we can all go on and like share it.
Yeah.
And try to get somebody in here.
Absolutely.
Okay. Discussion and action to create library goals for 2025.
So you should have another paper in front of you that says Parker Public Library 2025 goals. These are just two big goals that we as a staff have decided to work on. So we wanted your input on it and to see if there was anything else that you wanted us to focus on. The first one being focusing on service and outreach to serve and meet the needs of our community. And then you'll find the 3 different action points that we plan to move forward with to implement and succeed with that goal. So the first one, implementing new and exciting programs that showcase resources available in the library. So i.e. Resume building and job seeker workshops. One thing that we provide that a lot of people don't know about is free printing for job seeking purposes. So if you need to print applications or resumes or anything of that nature, and they're black and white, we will print them for free. And then we've been helping people a lot with interview help and just everyday job search needs. So we wanted to look into doing a monthly workshop to work with people on building their resumes, beefing them up, helping them fill out applications, things like that. The second one is nurture our relationships with our local schools. So really cracking down on strictly doing our monthly pop-ups at each school and working more closely at 8WC, which we've already started doing, but really being more true to it and making sure that we're following through and getting those scheduled every month. And then we want to survey our patrons and community to find a need that needs to be filled so that we can fill it. So in the past, we did the after-school program to fill a need for childcare, but we're looking to do something that won't be as time-consuming for staff, but still filling a need that needs to be met. So if you have ideas, let us know. The other big goal is increasing our revenue by 10% without implementing fees or fines. So not charging people for late books or late movies. The only time we ever charge people book-wise is if they lose or damage a book. That's it. So we've found, and most libraries you'll find, more people will return their books if there's not a late fee. So in the past, we charged 10 cents a day, but we'd rather just get our books back than messing with 10 cents here and there. So in February, we plan to, it says become, but I need to apply, not, we have to apply first, to become a passport acceptance facility. At that rate, I think it's $38 a person, or an accepted passport application would go back to the library. So that would be a big income for becoming one of those.
You mean that people could apply for a passport at the library?
And we
Okay.
would become an acceptance facility. So we're going to apply for that. If we don't get it, we don't get it. And then we're working on getting 2 employees to be certified notaries so we can start offering that again. And there is a minimum of a $5 charge. So that's another revenue source that we'll be opening back up. And then moving forward with like library merch, shirts, stickers, postcards, just little things for bookish people.
I think those are great ideas.
Thanks. Any input at all? Thoughts?
The only other thought that I wanted to add, and I don't know, you probably already have this on your agenda of things, looking at your resume building, job seeker workshops for old people, millennials, whatever. Are you including things in there like how to get onto the websites, like the Indeed and the, those things? Because some people just struggle with that part of it because it's not like what it was.
That's something that we could. I think that's a great idea. I think, I know that my staff is already helping people do that. So I think that that's something that we will definitely include in that. But we do have a lot of resources that are overlooked or just not known about. So I think focusing on hosting programs that would draw attention to those resources is important.
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Thanks.
Okay, anybody else have any other questions or anything to add?
I'm gonna buy a shirt, one of you guys.
Right, I want a shirt too. I'm gonna totally buy a
Are they gonna
shirt.
be black with just the?
No, so it's gonna say if found, return to the Parker Public Library.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think that's all I have. Is there anything you guys want brought back for next month? Future topics, what do we want to discuss?
Have we had any updates on when they might be working on the Xeriscape and the book?
Yes, so I believe we got the funding for that, yeah. So it just has to go out to bid, and then we can move forward with that. So there's some other projects that they're wrapping up, and then that'll move forward. I by the end of this fiscal year, maybe?
No, it should be before then.
Okay,
They said mid-February, they're gonna
start on that.
go out to
Did you still need more funding for like the book path portion of it?
So I talked with Steve and he said that we could add, it's like a story walk, but it's like a plant walk. So it'll talk about the different plants that are in the area in a path. But I wanted to also reach out to our grant writer to see about implementing a story walk on the other side. That way we can have a little bit of both, or see
Over by
about
the-
adding it
by
in.
the garden?
Yeah. So the plant story walk would go over by, I don't know.
The plant story walk will have to go through the new landscaping that they're putting out there.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the grant.
Yeah,
By the corner.
To go.
on this side.
around the
Yeah.
corner,
Okay.
do a regular story walk.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm. And then,
I have one
Yeah.
real quick question. On all these things where you want to do merch and notary and the passport, do you guys accept cards or is it cash only?
we're cash only.
Okay.
For the moment.
Yes.
Okay. Because I think that would,
Give me 2 weeks.
yeah, if you accepted cards, that would probably bring in more. 'Cause a lot of people don't carry cash.
Yeah.
It's just that we're just in the very beginning stages of starting to use people to take credit cards, so.
Okay.
We've added in the last week and this week, everything except for what's at the library. So building permits, everything, water payments, connection fees, trash fees, all of that, so. She's next.
Yay.
All right. If there's nothing else